Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a legend and icon in the building. Wow. I got to spell it out. METHOD. Man, let the man
Since
say
when do they stand in interviews?
Oh, it's all love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Since when do they be here in interviews?
So
Oh, you ain't got no
Talk
shame?
about
She
it.
said she ain't got no shame.
So, Charlamagne, we were having a conversation before you walked in.
Yes, sir.
We were talking about, our annuals and going to the doctor and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So I was telling, we were talking about colonoscopy.
Got one.
And the ladies in the room was like, yeah, they put you out. And I'm like, yeah, it was one of the best sleeps ever,
Definitely.
right?
It's the same stuff they give Michael Jackson. They,
Right.
they tell you that before they do it.
That's exactly what they said. I didn't want to say their names, but shout out to Trey Watt. But Mack said, they put you to sleep. They ain't never put me to sleep.
Right.
Impossible.
Right. Because I didn't know what the subject
He
matter
never got a
was.
colonoscopy. He got a
never got
prostate exam.
Got you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had a prostate exam.
You had a prostate exam.
No, I had the colonoscopy.
The
and
two
the
fingers.
endoscopy.
You had a prostate.
As a
You
black
fronting.
man, we're more susceptible to prostate cancer. So, I got mine checked the first time at 44. You're supposed to wait till you're 50, 45, 50.
No, it's 45 now to get a
45
colonoscopy.
now to
You got to go get a
I didn't know-
colonoscopy.
No, it was 50. It was 50. They just changed it to 45.
You got to get a colonoscopy. That's
All
where they
right,
stick the
so-
tube up your butt.
All right, so
and they
for
look
the-
around for any polyps.
So for the uninformed, it's basically to make sure you don't have cancerous tumors
That's right.
inside of
Correct.
your...
No
Because if they
polyps,
catch it early,
no
it can
redness.
save you. You don't have to go for another 10 years. So they know that you're free of cancer for 10 years.
So let's say if you don't, what are the symptoms of...
You might not have a symptom. But
Yeah, I mean, the people that I've known that have lost their lives to it, rest in peace, my man Combat Jack, by the time he went, he was stage 4. Wow. But he did say he thought that his stomach was getting bigger, but he said he thought it was because he was drinking and he wasn't eating
it's
right,
bloated, yeah.
things like that.
It could be blood in your stool. Could be a bunch of different things. Sorry to talk about it today, but we got to make sure you go to the doctor.
Absolutely,
Beth.
absolutely. But you can get blood in your stool from straining too hard, right? Correct?
I never got blood in my stool.
To be honest,
I haven't personally.
I don't know.
well, but
I can't believe we're having a conversation with Meth about health when he is absolutely, positively, probably one
Healthier than all of us
if
in
not
here.
the most healthiest
Absolutely.
person in hip hop.
now I'm informed about getting a colonoscopy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. Oh, well, I'm not going to look into it. I have to get it done. Correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's something I have to do. Then.
When did you get so heavy in the workout game? I've been watching you for years on Instagram, but like, what made you do it and when?
It's been about 10, 11 years now. 10, 13, 100 years now. I don't know. It was more or less, it started with insomnia for me, and I had a membership, but I never really used it. I would go sporadically, here and there, on and off, like a lot of people do. But something just clicked in me and said, you know what, let's go see what's up with the gym. It was about 4 in the morning. I was having all this insomnia, and it was open. So I started going. I had already had like my own program that I was following that my trainer had gave me previously. So, 3 days started turning into 4 days, and 4 days turned into a month, and months turned into, years. And my journey's been pretty good, man. I had some good people around me helping me along the way as well.
The fact that it's 4 in the morning, you don't have to worry about people in the gym bothering you. You're
that
kind of
part.
quiet and alone. And
It was a little community in there, about 5 or 6 people that showed up every morning, and they kind of welcomed me with open arms after they saw I was serious. About the first month. You got to at least show up for it, the first month. Then they're like, okay, this guy's serious. And, I was getting tips and things. And matter of fact, later on, when I found a workout partner, which is great for anybody, you should always find a workout partner because they keep you honest and you keep them honest as well. From there, that's when the journey really happened, because up to that point, I wasn't even like following a strict diet regimen or anything of that sort, because I was that uninformed. But over the years, having the workout partner and being around these people that were dedicated to it, picking up tips and things of that nature, definitely turned me into a gym rat.
did you slow down smoking at all?
No.
I wondered about that because you were always the OG weed guy, and like you, Snoop, Red. you know.
I mean that's a nice little lane to be in and stuff. But I always said I had so much more to offer, and I would hate to be just identified as just
The weed
that.
guy.
Yeah. And I think I've done a pretty decent job of that.
No, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now it's interesting because they got the BET's greatest rap crews of all time.
Right.
Right.
They
Humble.
got Wu-Tang versus Death Row.
I'm not
Humble.
disrespecting Death Row in no way, shape, or form. I
Humble.
love Death Row and everything that they represented.
Humble.
I just don't know how it came down to Wu and Death Row.
Death Row is not a rap
me as
crew
well.
to me.
For me, it's Wu and Outkast. That's the greatest rap
Wu and
groups of
Outkast,
all
yes.
time.
But Death Row is not a rap group to me. They're not a rap
No,
crew.
they're a crew. They're a label.
Yeah, they're a label.
And I think that's what they judged a lot of it based on as well. I mean, you got to really think about it. Those are groups, Death Row, but it was groups within groups, especially with a Wu-Tang Clan, especially with the way we came in the game as a group with the option to sign as solo artists. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense. And I'm just humbled and honored in the same breath because, Death Row, they were out, 3 years before we even dropped? About 3 years before we even dropped, and we had heard nothing like that before from the West Coast. I mean, I was a big NWA fan, but other than that, everything else kind of slipped through the cracks. Even MC Hammer, for a minute, he even slipped through the cracks because we didn't really gravitate to Hammer like that. He even knew it, it was more or less like, you ain't hitting in Hammer, you ain't hitting in New York, Hammer. Well, I'm going to turn this mother out, and he turned this mother out. He did exactly that. But, I mean, to be up against those guys, it's honor. Because, like I said, they put it down. Like, whew, I had never heard anything like Snoop or Corrupt, Daz, Rage, any of them really. What was it? Stranded on Death Row was the record. That was the first thing that I heard from them. And I was like, who in this? That's Dr. Dre from NWA? Wow.
Now, you guys already
How'd you
defeated.
develop a relationship with them?
Well, hold on. I want to tell people, they already defeated, because we were talking about crews. They defeated Good Music, Rough Riders, the Juice Crew, G Unit, and Death Row has defeated YMCMB, TDE, and NWA. So now the last battle is
and the Posse
Wu
and
and Death Row.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
They were in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I
now
loved
the last
Hyro. Those were my
battle
guys.
is Wu versus Death Row, and the voting can start right now. So how can they vote? Let me ask the people in the back. How can they vote? Go
How
to
can they
BET.com. That's Kim Osario's voice. BET.com/vote if you want to vote. And today is the deadline, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today is the deadline.
/go vote.
/go vote. BET.com/go vote. I mean, vote Wu-Tang, vote Death Row, vote with your heart. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just happy to be in the same space with that greatness right there.
Come on, man. Why y'all Wu-Tang, man?
I get it. But, like I said, humility is always going to be my go-to in situations like this. You never want to make things bigger than what they actually are. You let other people do that for you.
How did you develop that relationship? Because you had to have a relationship with them because you was on Mind Made Up with Pop.
Yeah. That was weird because I had a relationship with Snoop and Dogg Pound. I mean, I had Snoop in my Forerunner, Uptown.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We went to the gate, and I swear on everything I love, each time I ever went there, the dread would, I put my money through the slot, and he give me the weed, and I bring Snoop, he opened the door. I'm dead serious. Ask Snoop. Snoop can vouch for this. Let us in. Yeah, babies running around and shit. I'd never been in this gate before. Like, oh shit, so this is what it's like.
What year was this? This Doggy Style Snoop? Or?
Yeah, Doggy Style Snoop.
Wow.
Yes,
So 800,000 one week, 800,000 another week. Wow.
And Snoop was in the hood in Harlem. Yeah, no security. Dogg Pound was with us too.
Before the beef though, the so-called East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really no. Those who are informed know it wasn't. But the funny shit was when we get back in the car, Corrupt look at the shit was like, yo, cuz, this shit got sticks and seeds in it. They ain't know about that choco. They ain't know about that chocolate and shit. It probably was some whack weed now that I think about it and shit, man. Shout out to Benny Rat, B-Rat. He the one put me onto that spot. Remember Benny? Yes, I know.
God bless the dead.
I know.
So how did the record come about?
Well, hanging out with the, each time they came to the East Coast, I'd hang out with them. When I came to the West Coast, vice versa. And, Daz came and scooped us up. We went to Daz's crib, smoking. He had some records. He was just playing some shit, and we just spit on it. And the original song had myself, Rage, Daz Corrupt, of course, Redman, Inspector Deck. Yeah.
I think that verse just got released, but I don't know if it's AI. I can't tell.
No, it's real.
That was real? When that came out, was real?
Yeah, it's real.
Wow.
From the story that I heard through the interviews, Pac was like, the record too long anyway, take that shit off there. No disrespect to Deck, but it was more or less like he's thinking, I got Redman and Bedford Bed on this record. Fuck that, let's chop it right there. The shit too long. Took Rage off the record. But I'd never actually recorded with Pac the same way I did with Big. When I recorded with Big, Tracy Waite was in the background. She came and scooped me. Tracy came and scooped me. And I wasn't supposed to be doing the record, so I kind of snuck and went and did it.
Why was he supposed to do it? Because you were
Well,
signed?
no, it was more or less because Wu-Tang, RZA, the plan was if we get hot, we keep the money in the family first. Then we'll build with everybody else once we're right. You know what I mean? And you got like your hottest artists in your group at that point in time going to do other records with, I did it twice too, by the way. I did the What with Biggie, and then I went and snuck and did How High with Redman. So
Two of the greatest hip hop rappers.
I'm just saying, you know.
So wait, so to break it down, so Tracy picked you up.
Tracy picked me up to take me to the studio to do the What with Biggie Smalls that day, and me and Puffy played Torch. I remember that, right? Yeah, we definitely played Torch. I got his ass good too. I think I did that later.
What was Puff torture? What the hell was
I can't even remember. He was just saying, I don't know. It was, I don't know. It was a lot of, I don't know. I can't remember.
So it was an actual game? That wasn't just a skit?
It was just a skit on the album.
Yeah.
But we used to play we used to do it around the way and shit. Instead of snapping on each other, we used to play Torture and shit. And I guess Puff heard the skit and he wanted to play Torture. So he got tortured in that motherfucker.
And Big wasn't there during that time?
Big was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, and he wrote his rhyme, contrary to what people say. He didn't need pen or paper. He wrote his rhyme there, and I wrote my rhyme there.
Oh, so he had a pen in the pad?
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
Are those the first draft verses? Like, did y'all go back and change things?
Nah, wasn't no going back and change things.
Yeah,
It's like wasn't even. I mean, we talking analog, so it was like when you went in there and spit. If you fucked up, you had to start over and start from the top and spit it again, and right or wrong. He don't know. Damn,
He's too young. He don't know about analog. You asking one of the youngest people in there. He don't know nothing about no damn analog.
Damn.
So listen, I got a question about that then, because Biggie ends his verse, "Don't tempt me," and then you go THO. So y'all had to have some type of.
He said, "Don't mess." It actually was ME.
Yeah, he said ME. So don't tempt me.
He wanted me to come in right after that with THOD man, right behind ME,
okay.
But it didn't fall in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had already written my verse. Like I'm writing my shit, like I'm already 4 bars in, but you want me to start it with some other shit. It's like, okay, I'll try. But it overlapped.
Y'all wound up rapping over each other.
But it still worked, you ask me.
Oh, so his lyric was going to be ME instead of saying me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I always, like, when I talk to y'all, it's like unbelievable, because I don't even know, y'all shit is like Greek mythology, bro. Like, to us on the outside looking in, it's like, that shit don't even seem real. Y'all like real superheroes.
Damn.
No.
Yes, for
Factual,
real.
yeah, it is.
Wow.
Because we don't never hear these stories. So
No,
the fact that
man,
we had two greats and how they broke it down and how they
I tell
their
Angie
mind frame
Martinez
went.
that all the time. Like, when I'm talking to people from that era, it's like, yo, that is literally like reading Greek mythology.
Well, it's a lot of, well, of course, because I'm not going to say, let's say hip hop was in its early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in stage, still young,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But it like to fuck a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm out in these streets. I'm 20 years old. I'm finding out what life is about. So it was a lot more authenticity. When you heard records from the West Coast, you knew it was from the West Coast. You heard that sound. When we heard UGK, we knew that was down south. You know, it was a difference. And not taking anything away from the music nowadays, because whatever works. And I like some of the shit they be doing now, some of that turn up shit. But back then, we had identities, and everybody was fighting for their own identity, whereas it seems like now everyone's fighting for the same identity. Yeah. You know.
You think that hurts music, especially with this being our 50th anniversary? Because New York doesn't have a sound now.
No, that's going to spark the mind that changes everything. You know what I mean? That goes against the grain. Because, I mean, when Wu-Tang came out, where were we at in hip-hop, if you really think about it? Mm-hmm. It wasn't shiny suits, but we were in suits. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that attributed to wanting a seat at the table, where the R&B singers, in the R&B section, where the R&B singers were to basically put hip-hop on the radar and shit. Plus, it was hot. R&B mixed with hip-hop was hot. I mean, Puffy been using that for years. He took Mary J. Blige and said, well, maybe Andre, but I wasn't in the office, whatever. But they took Mary J. Blige and said, you know what? I hear these Kid Capri mixed tapes and shit, and they're doing fucking R&B songs, but he's mixing hip-hop beats up underneath it. Let's do that. Mary blows up. Okay, we got Biggie. Let's flip it the other way. We're going to take the R&B tracks and let him rhyme on those. Formula works. Either way is shit, but are we to say, fuck that hip-hop? Fuck, because we were like, fuck that R&B shit. Mm-hmm. Fuck I that. But it worked. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for that R&B shit, there wouldn't be All I Need.
That's right.
There wouldn't be a One More Chance. Mm-hmm. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Big Papa. Even Montel Jordan fucking this is how we do it, which is a direct bite of Slick Rick, if you ask me. Come on. Right? Children's story.
Same tempo.
Bottom line. Mm-hmm. It's the bottom line.
What's the difference between biting and sampling?
It's not biting. I mean, then Biz Markie was biting all the old people with all the samples he had on his shit. Mm-hmm. I think it's homage. in more ways than one. Because a lot of these records we grew up listening to as children, so they resonate with us, as well as the audience that we came up with. So it makes sense at the end of the day. I don't think it's biting at all, but if you directly saying, you coming straight out saying people rhymes, and claiming them as your own, I think something recently happened like that. A record that was done by Ludacris and somebody else.
Oh,
no,
Callie.
the young lady, her name's Callie.
She did a
Yeah,
similar
no
type of
disrespect.
record. She
Yeah,
did
no,
area codes,
okay,
yeah.
no disrespect to her, but she's saying, I believe she said she never even heard area
She
codes.
never heard
That's
area
fair.
codes from Luda. Mhm.
That is totally fair. But when you get into the content of the record, it sounds
Like Luda's area codes, similar.
She slowed it down the hook. Yeah.
But there's similarities in there. But I mean, if you never heard the record, by all means, somebody heard that record.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did.
Did you know All I Need was going to turn into the big wedding song it was?
I was scared of it.
That was my first. That's what I danced to if I wasn't. That was my All I Need remix. Word up.
Nice. I didn't even want to put the record out
Wow.
because I knew what it would do.
What, be successful?
Yeah, be
Well,
great.
not
Be one of the
in
biggest
that
records of
sense.
hip hop.
Not in that sense. I just didn't want to be putting that R&B light.
Yeah,
Remember,
you
we had a
said-
problem with
yeah.
that. We had a real problem with that.
You
And
said you never liked the sex symbol.
well, that's something else. That comes with like that's when people don't see the substance within; they only see the flesh. And
I
I
go
have a
through it
big
all the time,
problem.
my brother.
I get
I
it.
know.
I can understand that. I can understand that. It's for real.
But it was a hood love song. It wasn't like a polish. I mean, you went and got,
You
you
get-
got your woman's tampons.
Absolutely,
in the
but you can paint it any way you want to paint it. It's still I need love, but for another generation. You know what I mean? Paint it in any light you want to paint it in.
So how did they finally get you to put it out?
I think they gave me $50K. Was it 50? I don't know. I think it was like 25 or 50K. I was supposed to buy a car. Yeah, 50K. I was supposed to buy a car with it, but I didn't. I put that shit right in the bank.
It's crazy to think. 'Cause I saw. I think he was on Mav Hoffa. I think it was when you was talking about you can't believe the money that these artists are getting.
Oh, getting now,
So
yeah.
when you hear 50K now,
No, it wasn't. See, they took that out of context as well. It was more or less me trying to delve into the hustle of private jet flying, being so frustrated with commercial airlines so much that how are they doing this? And in me doing that, it was misconstrued as me pocket checking or fucking up the scam or whatever the fuck they doing. I don't know, but it was just me being curious, and it definitely got taken out of context. But there are some artists that you look at and you wonder, like, they came in rich. No, like you wonder and shit. You know what I mean? Not to delve too deep in whatever their backgrounds are, but it's like those finances come. You know what I mean? Like, you came in this bitch rich. You know, I'm not even talking about dudes that had their drug dealing lifestyle and they known in the street for that. But some of these, they
don't
got
add
the
up.
clear blue.
Private jet one way $30,000, coming back is $30,000, $60,000. And you're saying what,
$60,000.
they're not getting $60,000 for a show.
Well, somebody kind of broke it down to me.
Okay, what they say?
A lot of times the people that own these planes are maybe they're staying in California. Plane drops them in California and shit, but it has to go back to New York. It has to go back to. These people are basically taking those planes that are owned by these other people, so their flight that they have to take back to New York, they're getting on that flight.
Buying a seat.
Basically. Yeah. Which is smart as fuck. You know what I mean? Pays for fuel, all kind of shit. But yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is.
what was 50,000 back then? What would that be the equivalent to now? You think?
At least 125,000.
Okay, and you said you put yours in the bank.
Yeah, I put it in the bank.
Like, did somebody put you up on financial literacy back then? Or
No, not at all. And another thing that really grinded my gears that I even thought of back then was fucking health insurance. Some type of health plan for, because, SAG takes care of a lot of
actors, yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely,
big time. They're a blessing. But there's nothing in place for music artists or even like, they leave it up to you to have someone to advise you on things of that nature. But you young, dumb, and full of, 22 years old, coming to a lot of money. First thing you thinking is how I'm going to spend it.
Right.
You thinking like, CPAs and things of that, but you thinking how I'm going to spend this. It's like a bottomless, you ain't even thinking about where the next one's coming from because it's coming in so quick. There's been times where I've gone on the road 2 weeks, come back home, and forget what I do for a living. Not really forget, I know what I'm doing, but it's so much fun. You get lost in it so much that you forget you get paid for it, And then you look at your account like, oh, shit, whoa, that's a lot of O's. Where did that come from? Then it hits you, It's a very lucrative business. I get why a lot of people want to, just jump into it and get their feet wet in it and try and hit big. And it's like a lotto. It's like a lottery. So, and it's a quick way to long problems, especially if you hit big. It's like your mama good, your family good, everybody good, and now y'all living. Y'all got generational wealth for however long it lasts, you know. In that same breath, though, we're not paying attention to our own mental health, our own physical health, as well as financial gains or financial literacy, so to speak. And people in the midst of that, as well as being taken advantage of and deals and things of that nature, by the time you realize that you're in trouble, the people around you already knew it and they're already gone.
That's right.
I was going to ask you, did you ever get to that, I call it the uh-oh phase, like everything is good and then it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, a lot of times.
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like you would have saved more money than most because you've never presented that lifestyle. Never was flashy, never the jewelry,
Or
never
he had
the
a
cars.
catalog that could always put it back where he needed to be.
I could always get a show.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just the fact of wanting to get up and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And motivation is a motherfucker. And when you feel unmotivated and depression, things of that nature, plus you're not feeling as worthy as you were, as you felt back in the past, it wears on you, takes a toll on you. Then you become recluse, and you don't want to be bothered with anybody. But the bills still come.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to go out. So you do just enough to get by. Certain things catch up. I had a tax thing going on as well.
IRS don't play.
Yeah, they don't.
Crazy number?
No, not even. Not like some of these people. No. Like I said, I always lived a modest lifestyle. Still to this day, I live a modest lifestyle. So, I mean, when it comes, I can't. It's hard for me to describe because I'm still in that space where it's. Why do I got to get these motherfuckers my money?
No, I feel you ain't got to. Yeah, I get it.
You
I
know?
feel the same way.
But
So
I know,
much of it.
and I don't know, man. I leave that shit.
Now they listen, so yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Leave that shit.
No, they listen. I was gonna ask you when you got into that, what made you have that love back again? Because like you said, you were depressed. You didn't want to go out. What gave you that love? What gave you that inspiration?
A few things. People that I grew up with, they were in the studio making music, was asking me to come through. Battle rap. Love those guys, man. Because you can tell, like, of course they get paid for those battles and stuff, but you can tell that they do it because they love that shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I even started. And just knowing that I had more to contribute than what I had. Knowing that, in hindsight, that if I would have did better or paid attention a little bit more, it would have turned out better for me. But knowing that and saying to myself that there's always time to improve and what can I improve on helped a lot. I started being more grounded, taking better care of myself as well as my surroundings and the people around me, and listening more. That's one major thing right there that a lot of people don't do a lot. A good listener is going to learn. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, took me a while.
One thing I loved that I saw you do, when you apologized to Destiny's Child. Yeah. And I just thought that was dope because that's something that, we don't do. We grow up, we evolve, and we do constantly think about people we may have done wrong, but nobody ever just publicly said, hey, man.
That was something that bothered me from the day it happened. Like, it really stuck with me for a very long time. And I meant everything I said, man. It was genuine in that moment, They didn't deserve that shit, and I was just miserable. That's all.
Nobody wants to admit that.
Nobody.
None of us want to admit it's us. I was the miserable.
Pretty much.
Did you ever speak to them after the apology?
I haven't seen them. But, I've run into Kelly. I've run into Michelle. Nobody runs into being like, you don't run into Beyonce and shit. But yeah, I ran into Kelly. Matter of fact, I ran into Kelly Rowland in Flight Club in L.A. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To let her know I was very proud of what she was doing and everything, you know what I mean? And that was before the apology. It was years ago. And Michelle, I seen her at a basketball game. I think she was finding Jesus at the time. Good for her though.
No, she still is.
She
Yeah,
still
is, right?
Big
Yeah,
mental health advocate.
Girl, yeah, love her.
When did you realize? When did you say to yourself, "Yo, it's me. I'm miserable."
I knew that back then.
Really?
Yeah, I knew it. I just didn't want to accept it. You know. And
People
you
would
still.
say, well, what made you miserable? It seemed like you had everything. You had success. You had the money. You had the life. It seems like you had everything.
I didn't respect anything. And with that being said, I didn't think anybody respected me. So I just wanted to go away and work on some things. And it, like I said, it worked out for me, man. I'm not suggesting everybody do what I did or everybody can do what I did, because honestly, I can fall back on a group that's iconic at any point in time. So there's always going to be a bag there for me. But the point is it satisfying enough for me to want to go back? What can I do to advance myself? And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it, man. I'm happy, and I think it's resonating, and people see it, you know? Fucking calling me Zaddy at 52 years old. What is that shit? The fuck is that?
That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
What she say, they say, yo, yeah, they calling me Fine AF. Them girls like, Fine AF? What's Fine AF?
Air Force, nigga.
Air Force. So what got you into the movie and the acting? And when you do have to get into it,
I've been doing that shit.
but do you feel a way when you have to audition because you are such a celebrity and star? People know who you are.
No, there's never ego. That's one thing I never had was the ego and shit. I don't like auditions. I don't know anybody that really does and shit. But I appreciate them. Hey, I mean, I would suggest that anybody because I get people in the music game all day. I'm getting acting shit. This that. I would tell them all the same thing. Do the work. Take the classes, read the books, because when you step on that set, your next look got to be your best look, or they will not call your ass back. And when those people break bread in Hollywood, they break bread. Please believe it. Yes, sir. Me, man, I'm like I said, one day at a time, and I'm just gonna ride it till the wheels fall off.
What's been your favorite role?
Right now, the Davis role.
The Davis role?
Because nobody seen it coming. Nobody expected that, you know. And sometimes I look at the dialogue, we get the scripts, and I'll look, and I'm like, let me go right to my part, and I'll look, and it's like, a lot of dialogue here. A lot of jargon. But I credit the writers for, you know, giving us something that fits the palate enough that we can digest it and make sense of it every time. So it's pretty easy.
My favorite meme is when they do your How High character and they be like,
yeah, that was pretty, yeah.
Got you as Davis.
That was fairly new right there. I like the one I never miss. I like that one because I never miss.
Why the hell did they replace Redman with, like, as your brother? Yes.
He wouldn't get the jab.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, at least that's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know? Did I talk to Redman about it? No. We close. We don't, like, shit like that don't even need to be said. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. He's not the first or the last person that'll probably happen to. I remember, what's the guy's name? Bald guy. Actor. Very good at what he does. Rock.
Charles Dutton?
No. His name is actually Rock.
Rock.
He's a very good actor. I think he smacked fire out of Sanaa Lathan in that Tyler Perry movie.
Rock. You mean old sitcom Rock? They used that as the sitcom?
No, his name is Rock, I believe. Rock
I don't know.
something. Or maybe I'm wrong. That's not his name. But he smacked fire out of Sanaa Lathan in that movie, the Tyler Perry joint. Because she was sleeping with the white dude. It was like, he ain't your
I know
baby.
exactly what you're talking about.
What's he talking about?
I picked his head.
With a
Faces in my head. I can't think of his name. I know exactly what you're talking about. Light skin, brown. I know exactly.
Yeah. He was let go on the show because he wouldn't get the jab, and he was one of their leads, I believe. I could be wrong, but you know, just to say that, you know, Redman, he made a decision, and I stick by whatever his decision was. If he feels that was best for him, I agree with him.
Got you.
You know what I love, man, and I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like there's no group in hip hop documenting their story and history better than Wu-Tang. And what I mean by that is y'all got the television series.
Yeah.
Y'all got books.
Yeah.
Y'all had the documentary on Showtime.
That's RZA.
Do you feel like the story's being told properly?
As RZA, I mean, it's from his perspective, so it's being properly told through his lens. You know, of course, we all have our own interpretation of how shit should be or how shit should go, but what you have is what you got. And I'm gonna stick by him. That's my dog.
All of it is real though. Like I love the doc on Showtime.
The documentary is all genuine.
Okay.
Of course, it's a documentary, but the show, I mean, I don't know.
Watch this episode. Is that true?
No, I haven't. I only seen clips like on YouTube and stuff like
Really?
that, and it's usually Dave's clips. People will send them to me. And he did a great job. I don't know. I just couldn't get a grasp on it, and I was watching Snowfall at the time, so.
You were EP on the Wu-Tang.
I know, but I've been there. I lived that already.
He said, I did that. I've been there. I didn't. I was going to ask.
Is it accurate?
No, of course not. No.
Okay.
No. But none of them are. Actually, even the BMF joint isn't accurate at all.
Loosely based.
Yeah, loosely.
Is what they say.
Yeah.
Back to music. You getting back into music? You got that inspiration yet?
I've always been into music, but
Doing an album, I should say.
well, yeah, I've done 3 since. But the thing is, I do it because I want to, not because I have to. So that's pretty much why you guys probably haven't heard anything or seen anything. But I'm still there. Ask some of your favorite rappers. They'll tell you, for real.
Now, you
Meth
gotta
Lab
be
1
on
through
that,
3.
That Conway joint.
Yeah, that's my guy right there, though. But those dudes, like, that was an honor to do that because I love what they're doing. It's like it was still a place for lyricism and, just hardcore boom bap beats.
To go back to documenting the Wu-Tang story, are you going to write a book? Because I loved Raekwon and you guys.
And his name is Rockman Dunbar, just to get his name right.
Rockman Dunbar.
Rockman Dunbar.
Nice. Say again?
Are you going to write a book? I think every member of Wu-Tang should write a book. I love Raekwon's book, Staircase to Stage. I love you guys, Raw. I don't know if you read them. They all speak highly of you in there.
And you gonna say I was a crackhead. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. I'm joking. I know I'm joking. Yeah. I mean, honestly, no. If I did decide to do something like that, I like how Mike did his thing.
Oh, the one man play
Oh,
joint?
yeah. Because I'm pretty
makes
good
sense
at
for you.
telling stories. I think Ice-T should do something like that. You guys get Ice up here. Ice got the best stories.
Ice hasn't been up here yet, right? Nah.
No.
Ice got
hasn't
the
been up here yet.
best stories, bro. Like, and Ice-T's been in the game for decades. Like, we're talking 30 plus. You know what I'm saying? That dude, he has a lot. But yeah, I would love to do it like that kind of thing, like on the stage, and just go through it from the time that because I can remember all the way back to when I was 2.5 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I can go back to kindergarten.
How the hell do you remember 2 years old?
My mom told me that I was 2 because I described our house we lived in when I was 2 years old.
Wow.
And we never stayed in any place for too long. So for me to be able to describe this house, as soon as you come in the door, the living room, then you had the kitchen here, was an opening here. We had 3 cereals. We had Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and we had the werewolf one. Anybody remember that one?
Yeah, no, I don't remember
Fruit
the
Brute. Fruit Brute. All right? 2 years old. Then you go down this long hall. It was a doorway here. That was me and my sister's room. Doorway at the end of the hall, Mom and Dad's room. The reason why I knew that was because each night one of us would fall out the bed, start crying. One of them would come get us, bring them in the room with them. Directly at the end of the hall, bathroom. 2 years old.
Jesus. It's a genius child over there, 2 years old.
Word up. I feel like you got to tell this. I feel like you have to tell your story, though,
I gotta
right?
start from there.
Because if you don't, somebody else.
I definitely start from there. I remember being pushed out the window in my diaper.
What?
Well, it was a pair of drawers, but
Who pushed you out the window?
I think my sister did.
She didn't
It was
like it?
snow outside. It was only one. By the way, the house was only one level. Okay.
Okay,
So
all
you
right.
got one level.
Still, though, you're a baby if you're in the pamper.
Might have been drawers. I was 2, 2.5. Shit, it might have been my drawers, but I just know I didn't have anything on except that. And it was white. I remember that much. And freaking Fat Albert coming on television. Yeah.
The Wu-Tang series ends with y'all having a issue with Divine, and that seems to be a common theme. in
Everybody had an
everybody's
issue
story.
with Divine.
Yeah.
Everybody had an issue with Divine. It comes with the territory. If you're Wu-Tang, you have an issue with Divine. Period.
I wonder how he feels about that.
Mitchell, my nigga, Vine is cool as hell. Vine cool as the other side of the pillow. I think that dude did an excellent job playing Vine. But the guy that really resonated to me the most, especially when I see the clips, is the guy that plays Power. He's got his mannerisms, the laugh, everything. That's Power all fucking day. I think he killed that shit.
So you didn't help with your role at all?
I went and spoke to Dave, and I
Okay.
told Dave, the reason Dave really got the part, Dave is an MC from New York. It's a given. The mannerisms and all that shit gonna be, I was like, do you. You know what I mean? Don't be Method Man. I wasn't Method Man then. Be that MC, that fly MC from New York, and Dave did a good job, man.
I be wondering what you and
I just wanted him to be comfortable.
Was he? You think he was? Because it's hard, right? Playing.
I could tell when he was uncomfortable because you have an eye for stuff like that. But once he hit his stride, he was off to the races. He was killing it, especially when you put the mic in his hand. Some of them dudes was rhyming way off beat. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing,
But you know, when you have a couple of swords and you put them together, and it makes, I mean, it's the Wu-Tang. It's the slang. It's a sword style of rhyming. God.
Jesus.
I always wonder what the conversations are like between you and Mary on set.
Man, me and Mary be laughing. Mary's funny as hell. Y'all wouldn't know it, though.
Do y'all reminisce or do y'all live in the now? Like, because y'all got it.
Both.
Or both.
Okay.
Both. Mary cool as hell and shit. You know, I don't want to say too much because, you know, it's regular shit for me and shit with her. It's like, that's a little sis right there, a little big sis. Because she born before me in January. But Mary cool as hell. I mean, what can I say and shit? That I haven't said already in the interview. She the fucking queen. She demands respect, and she gonna get it.
And she deserves it.
Yeah.
I do wonder about the bond that people have when they make a hit record, though.
What you mean?
Like that, because y'all are kind of married for life.
Mary made me feel comfortable first when I first met her. I met at Puffy's birthday party. I think it was Roseland. When that shit, remember Roseland? Yeah.
Roseland Ballroom.
Yeah. She came up to me and was like, "Bring the Pain was my shit." I was like, wow, this Mary J. Blige right here, yo. And I had to tell her that Love No Limit was my shit, and I started singing it to her a little bit. But yeah, it was dope. Next thing I know, he was in the studio recording. And
Who set that up? Did Puff set that up?
Puffy. Shout out to Puff Daddy. Fucking Diddy, man. Diddy, love that dude, man. Like, people don't, what they do. They give him his props. They have to. It's like, Puff that nigga, though. Puff been around a long time, man, and I respect the shit out that dude.
It all goes back to tonight, too.
Hold on, one more thing. I got to ask this as a fan.
What's that?
I saw you on Math Off, and you were talking about how you didn't really like Tagoe, per se.
What do you mean?
The album?
The first album?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we originally recorded it, there was a flood.
I remember, I heard about the flood.
A lot of the music got 100. But
I think you're being too hard on yourself with the Tagoe.
yeah, I mean, those rhymes, a lot of those rhymes was written between 15 and 17 years old. So, you know, I had been doing that, some of those for a while. But the music side of it, it was like making shit on the fly at some point. Even it was just hard. It was rough. It was rough because we were basically touring, promoting the first album, and they had us way on the West Coast. Then we'll be in North Carolina somewhere, and I'm going in all these different. Some of the studios were so nasty, like had rats and shit. The Papa Stopper with the stocking over it. You know what I mean? You know, shit like that. But we got through it, and the best part about it was that the album did well because it set the standard for the rest of the solo albums that came after that. So it was like, okay, we really gonna be waiting for this Raekwon joint, or we really gonna be waiting for this Old Dirty joint. You know what I mean? So on and so forth.
You a comic book guy.
Yep.
So what if the flood never happens? Where does Wu-Tang?
My shit probably would have been 5 mics. I got 4.5 in the sauce, or 4. It was four in the sauce. I think I got 4 in the sauce. But a lot. But you know what though? And I'm glad y'all brought that first album up because that first album, man, a lot of that shit had to do with these women on this couch back here.
Kim
Rhonda.
Okay.
Well, Kim, not so much. Rhonda and Tracy.
Okay.
Like.
Well, Kim was at the source.
But she wasn't not when I first started because that was Maddie and Maddie and them and shit. Not taking nothing away from Kim. That's my homie right there. Love Kim.
Kim looking like,
no, I love Kim. I ain't trying to shade her or nothing, but the truth is the truth.
Got you.
Very instrumental in molding me into the artist that I am today, or was at that point in time. Got that album done, gave me all the promo and everything that I needed, and it went crazier after All I Need dropped. Because once All I Need dropped, it was like I was in the office every day meeting people that I hadn't even freaking met before.
How's it feel to still work with these ladies? Because, I mean, these are ladies that
when I came in the lobby, it was like I didn't even recognize Tracy at first. Give me a hug.
I just hit their scene.
Yeah.
I wanted to see them.
You know what I'm saying? And then I come in and I see Rhonda and Kim, and I'm like, this is a fucking reunion right now. So now I'm comfortable because I was coming in here on my bullshit. Now I'm playing.
Well, let's talk about it. The championship matchup is tonight. The BET's greatest rap crew of all time.
Yes.
And Matt performing at the White House too, man.
Oh, no, I'm not performing.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'll be there, though.
Oh,
I'll definitely be there.
Okay. The Juneteenth performing at the Juneteenth.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Well, how can they vote, Kim? What's the website?
That ain't going to happen.
BET.com/go vote. Did I say that right, Kim?
BET.com, go vote with your stinking ass.
All right.
Add that part.
And Matt, I just want to tell you I love you, bro. I'm a fan.
Thank you,
lifelong
brother.
fan. You really are a superhero to me. I
Respect.
get around Meth and Wu-Tang and feel like a kid. Like,
Hell yeah.
God damn.
Y'all gonna get a third seat in this motherfucker? My son need a job. I'm just asking this shit. He funny as fuck too.
That's right. You funny?
Yeah, he funny.
Why you bring him with you?
He
Why
gotta
you
watch
put him in a movie
He
yet?
gotta
Why-
watch his son. He gotta watch my grandbaby.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, there you have it. It's the Breakfast Club. It's Method Man.
Salute,
Good morning.
y'all.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.